मैं कैसे इसको मैं लाइव Yes,
There you
now
go.
we are.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. And welcome, Mr. Lee.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much. I am very glad I am having the wonderful guest in my show, Eco Inspire Living Show, and Mr. Lee, and he is the educationist and the interfaith. Sorry, मैं भूल गई हूँ सब कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया. So activates, yes, interfaith activates. So I think it is better that you introduce yourself for my viewers, friends, and the audience.
Okay. So my name is Weisman. I live in California, although at the moment I'm in Washington, near Washington, D.C., with my family. We're sheltering in place here. And I am a teacher. I've been a teacher for over 25 years, I think. I teach high school. I teach 10th and 12th grade, so kids between, say, 15 and 18 years old. And I'm currently teaching from home. This is my classroom, my office, my everything, and I'm here like I have my schedule and all of my PowerPoint presentations and I do my classes from here. And my daughter is here also, so I have very good company. She's a journalist in Washington D.C. and she's coming here to stay with me also. And so we're riding this out. It's actually quite a beautiful place in suburban Maryland, outside of Washington D.C. It's spring and it's quite beautiful, and we have deer and foxes, and so I have good company in addition to the family. So that's my story.
Yes.
There we are.
Actually the network problem.
Okay, it happens. So did you hear all that?
Yes. Sorry. Actually, I think so. Okay, this is network problem. Okay, fine. So today we are here to discuss about the COVID-19 challenge and how the people is doing work at home. So what they are facing the challenges. So what do you say?
Actually,
Which type of usually people face the challenge?
I'm actually enjoying this challenge a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't be, but it's been teaching from home has been very interesting. We're using a Google Meet, which is like Zoom. It's like all of these meeting softwares, and it's been interesting. I feel like my students are very tuned into their computers anyway. They're used to looking at screens. And so I feel sometimes like I get more attention from them on the screen, maybe than even in the classroom, because they're used to looking at screens. Um, I can do a lot of things. I find that I can kind of vary the instruction a lot online because I can send them to here, send them to this website, that website, show them movies, short films, discuss them. The hard part is with discussion. My classes are very much built on discussion, and that doesn't always work well on the internet because of the slight lag time and things like that. It makes for it makes it a little bit awkward, but still, I'm pleased with it. I feel like there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential here for different things that one could do, um, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it actually. It's been a good experience. But I know for a lot of people it can be very difficult, especially some of the harder part is not just the work part, but also, of course, the you know being stuck at
That's
home.
great.
And
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. You were frozen for a
Okay,
moment.
that's great. You are enjoying. No doubt, in this current situation, the technology it is a blessing for us. Okay, we are connecting to each other by this but how we can make sure that we are connecting with our all students and your student is submitted in the given task which you send the assignment, so they are submitting on the
It,
time.
yeah, it's difficult. I mean, they're submitting assignments online. Okay, so I'm seeing all their work. The problem is that this is a great medium for students who are a little bit self-motivated. If a kid really wants to learn, this is actually a great way to learn because there's a lot of opportunity for exploration, research, all that, and it's a really good way to learn. For kids who are not such self-starters, um, Berira is a very good example. Okay, like for her, this would work great because she has a curiosity about the world. She's interested in things. I imagine that she could she could figure out how to do things at home. And there's lots of for a kid like that. Um, this could be a very good opportunity for kids who really need somebody to be on top of them. It's more difficult. And parents, honestly, they vary. I mean, some parents are very involved in the learning, and they themselves have become kind of home teachers and really got into it. And some parents have really educated themselves, especially for parents of little kids, have educated themselves to know how to help in the teaching and are doing a great job. And other parents, especially for teenagers, may not really be so great at that and are not used to supervising their kids, and it becomes more difficult. So it really depends on the kid. It's very good for some kids, and for some kids, it's going to be more difficult. Um, and it depends on the subject also. It also depends on the subject. I'm teaching religious studies, so it's all about discussion and texts and things like that, and that can work more or less like it does in the classroom, although for less time. I actually am enjoying that part too. My classes are an hour and a half long in living classroom, and that's a long time. Maybe sometimes feels like it's too long, and online you have less time. You can't have them staring at the screen for so long, and so I have to do more in less time, and actually that seems to work. Oh, froze.
I'm sorry. I was mute. Can you
Yeah.
hear? Sorry, I didn't know. I can't. When they can, I couldn't see, and I was mute. So
Okay.
so my question is this: after this, I think so. Okay, the world is totally changed. So how will you see the world after the COVID-19 when we get out from this challenge? So what will be our routine or like the life?
Well, I mean, I think that very much remains to be seen. I would like to say, I would like to say, I mean, obviously there are going to be some differences in the way that we run our social life, and I still have not been able to kind of imagine that world. To be very honest with you, I mean, I think about where I go to pray. I think about you know, for me, my whole life is very communal. I have a very communal life. There are always people coming to my home, and I have big meals, and we eat together, and I go and I pray in a place where there are a lot of people, and I have no idea what that's going to look like now. I'm in a classroom where I have no idea. What does it mean to teach in a classroom where people are 6 feet spaced apart? I have no idea. Where there's 3 meters between every student, I can't imagine. Um, if that's what's going to be, that's going to be very strange. And if I'm in synagogue, to pray, and everybody's sitting 8 feet apart, like I don't know what that's like. Um, as far as our mind goes, I hope that we now have a different perspective on the world. This is the first time in history, I think, that everybody has been in the same situation. Everybody, right? There's nobody in the world. I mean, it's crazy. So people in Pakistan, people in America, we're all trying to do the same thing. And maybe this is the first time in history that's ever happened. Um, and so I would love to think that that's changed us. I'm just not sure I'm not sure it has. I hope so. I think I've lost Fatima. It's possible. Oh, there she is.
I can hear you. I was
Okay.
back of the. I was in the studio. I'm listening you, and because you are speaking, so it will be much better that people see you and
Oh,
listen you
okay.
in the biggest screen. In the biggest screen.
Okay. Good. 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 Yeah. So I feel like I would like to think that the world will change and that we've learned from this. I worry that maybe we haven't. That I hear people saying, "Well, soon things will be back to normal." I hope things are not back to normal.
Hmm.
Because normal was um, uh, normal in the world was people, with all sorts of conflicts with each other, not working on the same problem together. And I would like to see that change. So I hope that we've learned something from this. I mean, I hope that we now see that we are in a world where we're all in it together. And I hope our attitudes about these things change. And now that we've discovered these technologies, of course, people like you have been using these. You've been doing these shows and talking to people, interviewing people, and showing people how this works for some time now. But the rest of the world is just catching up to you, right? And now people are seeing that they're able to do this, and I see people connecting. My daughter has like a very lively Zoom social life. There's Zoom birthday parties, and so people who are from this side of the world, that side of the world, they're getting together, and I hope that that continues. Of course, we should be together in the same room, and we should, our families should be able to eat together and all that, of course. But at the same time, I think it's beautiful that we're now using these technologies to reproduce social life.
As we know that so you are the interfaith social activate. So I think this situation is the very right situation to be close the different belief people, and we should be do the prayer collectively. Prayer we need to. So
Yes.
what do you think? This
Well,
is a right.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't work anymore just to pray for yourselves. I mean, that's the, it's kind of a strange situation. We may be so used to praying for ourselves and praying for our families or praying for our communities, praying for our religious communities, but that doesn't work anymore, right? Because now we are all connected by this very strange, in order just simply to be safe and alive, just to be safe, right? Just to be safe. Um, we really, everybody needs to be safe. We have to really pray for each other's safety because um, if people are sick in Pakistan, sooner or later, it's going to have an impact on people here. That's the way it is now. We just saw it happen. We saw it spread throughout the world. And so I hope that that gives us a different picture. We can't afford to be separated anymore. We can't afford to be in our little bubbles and our little boxes anymore. I mean, to me, I feel like this is a message from God. I feel like God did a very good job of showing us something that we had not seen before. You know, He closed our churches, He closed our mosques, He closed our synagogues, and He said, "Okay, now you have to open to each other." He did a very in education we call it object lessons, right? It's where you bring the learning home through something tangible, something that people can experience. Well, he did a very good job of bringing this home and saying, okay, you know what? You've been fighting with each other, driving each other crazy. You hate each other. You have all these differences. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it so that all of you will have to be in this together. And I hope we learn from
Exactly.
it. I really hope we learn.
Yes, but I want to ask this: we should be do this activity through the technology. We all people of all areas should in your home, but through the technology we all are gathered in a one time in a same platform like this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's I've been participating in, we've had like interfaith prayer services and things like that where people pray
Exactly.
together. It's beautiful. It's so nice to see people, and to share with people like that. And we have the means, now we have the means, and becomes, you know, and we start to learn from each other and start to gain from each other, and you know Um, I hope that continues. I mean, I worry sometimes that, as things go back to normal, although whatever normal looks like after this, it's normal that we might lose that, but I hope we don't. I hope we keep the connections, and we recognize that we need each other, um, and that we can pray together, and that we can learn together, we can solve problems together. I mean, this talk about education. I mean, every teacher in the world, people who are all doing the same profession in different parts of the world are all facing the same challenge. Like, okay, now what do we do? And we all faced it in the same time. It's kind of like, a period of maybe between 1 month, everything had to get figured out. Um, so. I have a lot of hope, and I really believe, and I really believe that um, that God really gives us a lot of strength through this, and that faith is really important, as a resource when we face something like this to really believe that there's a meaning and purpose behind everything. I don't always know what the meaning and purpose is, but I believe there's meaning and purpose to it, um, and that there's something to be learned and something to be gained here, and that we have a responsibility to learn and to gain. Um, and, you know, I'm careful about saying why
Okay.
this happens, but think that there's a reason.
So in this condition, so many people are become the jobless. They don't have any source of income for all in Pakistan. I don't know what is the
Yeah,
condition of joblessness in Pakistan.
I lost a lot of that, where our network is having problem here, but I think I can answer. I think I got your question. Let's see if I got it. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be facing
Your
def-
side, how they will maintain their needs. I don't know what's wrong the network.
yeah, just the network. So if you're talking about joblessness and obviously a lot of people are going to be facing a lot of difficulty. I mean, here too, it's very, very hard because people are losing their jobs and businesses are closing. They can't survive in this environment. There are going to be many businesses which are just not going to be able to function properly even afterwards. Um, and again, I think that this also gives us we're going to have a greater responsibility to take care of each other. Those people, those people who are able to work, and those people who are able to do business and all those things are going to have to help those people who can't. It's as simple as that. Um, we may have to live differently. We may have to start living together. It may not be possible for everybody, and under these new conditions, it may not be possible for people to have one family here, one family here, one family here. Maybe we have to pool resources. It may be that we have to start doing things differently. If you're going to have an economy that's less lively, then we have to deal with that, and act accordingly. But I think the secret is going to be taking care of each other. I mean, I think at the end of the day, what we have, the biggest resource that we have is each other. And so people will have to, people will have to sharing things. Maybe it's not going to be possible when you have a baby, to buy a new crib. Maybe what you have to do is go online to your neighborhood website and say, anybody have a crib? And somebody has a crib, use their crib, right? I mean, there are some communities that do this already, and we may have to share things. We may have to, share resources, and it's amazing if we share it, how little you have to buy, honestly. um, Furniture and all sorts of things. People have all sorts of things. If we learn how to share them, then maybe we can. Then we'll need less. But obviously, we're going to have to live differently. I mean, that's clear, and we're going to have to help each other. And again, I think that's of course, it's difficult for people. It's so difficult, and my heart goes out to them. But at the same time, maybe there's something good in that also.
Okay, that's great. And from my side, for all people who want to share their experience and to be have the dream to make our universe beautiful place for everyone. especially the new generation. So this is I think so. Okay, this is the responsibility of the every human being to contribute to the better place for our planet for everyone. So
Yep.
this is the purpose Eco Inspired Living Show.
Yeah. No,
So
I think that that is definitely true. That that we all have responsibility, and now that responsibility is so much more clear, right? I think we can see that much more clearly now than maybe ever before. So realize it's also an individual responsibility. We're all walking around with masks on, right? That's an individual responsibility for the safety of others. That's a lot. That's a lot. Um, it's I think that one of the outcomes of this is this kind of feeling of personal responsibility. This idea that we that each individual has kind of a collective responsibility. Most of us have never thought about that before, right? We kind of take care of ourselves, our families. We live in kind of a small bubble, but have never felt this level of responsibility for other people. When you're walking outside and you're putting a mask on because you might be sick and you're protecting other people, that puts you in the position of being a protector of life. That's a big deal. You know, that's a level of responsibility for others that only medical professionals really had before, and now we all have it. And that is that's really saying quite a lot. And so I hope that in young people at least, and hopefully even in older people, you'll see a new reaching out to each other. Certainly, I see a different atmosphere as I walk around the neighborhood here. Um, this is my sister's neighborhood, not mine, so I don't know people. But what I have found is that people have become more friendly. People have kind of like feel a sort of sense of collective responsibility for each other. They actually are more neighborly. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. More neighborly than they were before. Um, and hopefully that neighborliness will be transformed into action, and that that our neighborhoods that our communities will become more oriented towards helping one another, that will develop institutions to help one another, not just government bailouts, because I think that's certainly part of it. I think government does have a responsibility to help people through this, but at the same time, the main responsibility will fall on us. And how are we going to deal with that? And I think our children, I hope our children are starting to think about these things, and our children are now going to be growing up in a different world, a world in which mutual responsibility will be taken as a given, as part of everyday life, and maybe that also will change the way that people change the way people will think. So I think we're living at a time of remarkable transformation, of things really changing.
I'm sorry, I am here again.
That's okay. I understand these
Actually,
things
my
happen.
laptop was dead, the network issue. So now I'm using data,
Okay.
and this is the technology, and this is the challenge of today's challenge.
That's true. I mean,
Huh.
um, I've had that happen in the middle of classes. I've been in the middle of teaching class, and my network here is pretty stable, but every once in a while there's a glitch, and and people are freezing, and it's not easy. This is the nature of the beast. Uh,
Mm.
you know,
But this is the up.
yeah. I think one of the things we're also realizing is that our
Exact.
technology infrastructure has to be improved. So
But the willpower and the enthusiasm, the power of the human, for the power of us, we will never be give up. What
yeah,
is the challenge? Either it is the big or either it is the in the COVID-19 challenges also the peoples are having the alert of stress, mental stress. Okay, what will happen? How much long time we are having in a what in a home? Since long time today I visit to the hospital because of my mother. So even the hospital is not a good place, but it's this change is I like it. I am going somewhere. I am not. I am outside the home. I meet the new people in the hospital and the doctor and like this. So I really usually I'm not like to visit the hospital, but today I feel that it is also the blessing
Yeah,
because I am out,
yeah.
out outside of the house today.
Listen, every time I go to the store, I'm so happy. Just like I go to the
Exactly.
store, and it's a lot of anxiety too because you're washing and cleaning and this, but at the same time, it's so nice just to be out and to be, just to see other people. Um, and no, it's really I guess there is that. Um, yeah, I hope that I'm looking forward to I don't know that we'll be very normal soon, but at least we'll be a little bit more normal soon, which is good. We have more time to get out and and to better places than hospitals. Um,
Exactly.
but we shouldn't have to be visiting, but at least it's good that you can visit hospitals here. It's very difficult to visit a hospital here, unfortunately, because the protocols are so extreme. It's really difficult.
Exactly. When I enter, I forgot there are lots of protocol. There are so many people to guide me. The very first you wash you apply the sanitizer on your hands, and then I go through the special door which are spraying me,
Right.
and then they are mark the square on the floor. If we cannot be near to other person, we should be wait for our turn and should be on a square. And if the people ignore the instructions and they are crowded on the front dice, so the announcement is going on because you should have the distance from to each other, otherwise you are not allowed to enter here like this. And even also the waiting area, the chairs are very far away to each other. If the
Yeah.
two chairs is near to each other, so the one chair is having the sign of the cross. Okay, it is not for the sitting.
Wow.
You said next you will sit the next chair. So I was really happy that the people is following the instruction, the safety instructions, and institutions also they are very patiently deal the people. They make them to educate. It's for your safety. It is a necessary. We should have if we, now because the Ramadan is going on, so the government is give the some relaxation lockdown. The shops are open for the little for the summer. So
Hmm.
it's the lockdown is not very much strict in my side, but we need to be follow the instructions what the government and what the institutions is. So it's my first visit after during the lockdown in the public place, so I realized that the people is following so
Yeah.
much. So
Yeah.
I really
People are pretty good. I mean, I think in general, I think I found people are also pretty good too. It's very hard. Um, it's very difficult. Um, um,
but Mr. Lee, another big challenge we are the normal people which don't have the they are very confused. Almost the people around the world because the media is spreading the rumors and the alerts of the dead figures and the bad things. So the people are confusing what is the right and what is the wrong. So what do you think? How we will be? tackle the situations to maintain our uh, uh, out from the mental stress, and how we will be make ourselves relax and like
Well,
this.
I think that the things that we need, um, I think we already have. I mean, we need to first of all, we need to be very careful about how we consume the news. I think some of us
Mm,
have become a little bit obsessed with the news, and it can be very stressful, right? Because
exactly.
especially because if you look on the internet, you get crazy theories about this and about that, and this new virus and that new virus. It's terrifying,
Exactly.
right? And a lot of it is not true. Some of it is true, some of it is not true. So you want to be very careful about what you consume, because if you consume terror all the time, you're going to be scared. Right? So you have to be
Mm,
careful about what it is that the information you're getting, to make sure that the information you're getting is true, but also that to make sure that it's true, and to make sure that you're not overdoing it. And
mhm,
that's the first thing. Second is, to count on the relationships you have with the people who are close to you. You know, we need people. Thank God we have families. We have people who are close to us, and if we have people who are there in our home to pay attention to them, to spend time with them, to do quality things with them, um, to make sure that everybody gets the hugs and kisses that they need. I mean, I know that sounds, we need that. That's
mm,
part of being a human being, is we need affection. We need to make sure that even if that changes even our body chemistry, right? That's when when you hug a child, okay, it's changing your body chemistry and theirs, and making you calmer and taking away stress. And
exactly.
also, I think, a lot of it has to do with changing our minds, and really looking for the ways to make all of this stuff better, right? How do we make all this? How do we make things better? This is an opportunity. I know that you know, sometimes I'm a little afraid. I hear too many people saying this, and maybe it gets kind of drowned out. But if this is an opportunity to do things in a different way, then work on that. That also relieves stress. Doing something, being able to being able to. We're not in a situation that we can't do anything about. We're in a situation where it's difficult. But that's different from saying we can't do anything about it. We can, right? We have lots of opportunities. So trying to find those opportunities, and also, reaching out to people who have no way of reaching others. There are so many people, older people, who are stuck in their homes, or otherwise. If we can find ways to reach them in whatever way we can reach them, that's very good. And I feel, I have not been doing enough of that, and I know that in the future I really need to work on that. I need to really see who's out there and try to connect with people.
Fine. Mm, absolutely right. So, what do you think? My next question, actually, online teaching is really a very big challenge. Not for you are belong to that developed country, but I'm not. Pakistan is every person is not good in using the technology, but nowadays everybody is doing the struggle, and they are trying to learn how to use the part, and how to be the part of the technology. How especially the main thing is effect the education of the young learners. The
Mhm.
the mothers are having the lots of challenge how to deal the whole time the children is at home. So
Yeah.
what do you suggest now every mother need to become the super mama like this. So what do you suggest as a teacher to mothers how they deal this situations, and how they will be engage their young learners to be educate them, to motivate them, and
Well, the first thing is, and I know this from talk from my friends. I have friends who are mothers home with their kids, and the first thing is you don't have to be perfect. Some people are trying to do this perfectly, right? They want to they want to make it to perfect grades. They want to make everything fun at
Okay,
home.
again, hello.
It's
Uh,
going to be great education. It's going to be, you know what? It it's going to be imperfect, right? You're going to
mm,
make Everybody's going to make mistakes. It's not easy, right? So the first thing is just kind of like dealing with the fact that this is not going to be perfect. It's going to be okay, right? But sometimes it's okay just to be okay, you know. Um, and and in this situation, that's part of it. The other thing is also to make sure that you get time for yourself and to like get away from it, because otherwise you will go crazy. I mean, I have friends
exactly.
who are going crazy because they're
Crazy.
it's like they're juggling. They're holding. They got this going and then this going and this going and this going and this going, and they've got nobody can do all of it. So there comes a point where you just have to say, kids, I have the afternoon off. Okay, like I'm going into my room. I'm reading a magazine. Feel free feel free to mess up the house, do whatever you want, but you know what, I need to like relax myself. I need to I need to watch a video of flowers. I don't know, whatever it is, like whatever you need to give yourself time, especially of course now, it's time during now it's Ramadan, so now it's even more challenging, right? Because you're fasting, the kids are going crazy. It's obviously it could be a very big challenge, so you have to just like at some point you say, okay kids, I'm fasting, I need a little rest, just give me a little moment here. um, and I think that helps a lot. I think that really helps a lot.
Fine. Now, the people realize that every parent or every mother should be know how to be like teach the child. And not usually the people rely the institution, the schools, and the other learning institutions. So they are relaxing. We are not we are not need to be learned how to teach now. But in this situation, every father, even I observe on the social media, and I am connecting my family. So the father is also they are dividing the time period. Now half are I teach and half are mother teach, and half are the grandmother is
Yeah,
teaching and dealing with the small kids. Like this they are distributing the time. I think it is really a very great thing. So
yeah,
I think, yeah, yeah,
yeah. No, I think you're right. I think it is a great. I mean, I, I think I think it's nice that parents
exactly.
now are more involved in kids learning and they have a better idea. I think this is. I was talking to somebody who has little kids, and I think that they know more about what their kids are learning now, because I mean, you send your kids to school, you expect them, they come home, they do their homework, and that's it. And now they have a much better idea of what the kids are learning and how the kids are learning, and what works for the kids. That some kids, some kids do better as visual learners. Some kids, you start to learn about those things, and it's great for parents to know about those things, to know how their kid
Exactly.
learns.
Mr. Lee, you can see the comments on the screen. The
I
comment is going
can.
on.
Again, very nice.
So can you read, please? Actually, मुझे जो है ना uh,
It says, "Best of luck, Fatima. Keep it up."
okay, मैं समझी okay. हबीब हुसैन साहब कह रहे हैं
Nice to see me here. Thank you. It's a nice pleasure to be here.
okay, that's great. So thank you so much. Uh, Today is my first Eco Inspired Living show का है with you. कि I am using that platform. Usually I am going to be live with my ID or with my page, but today I am going using this great platform which Linchitic is uh, developed for us. Everyone is use this platform for the betterment of our world and to be connect the people and create the connectivity among the people all around the world for spreading the love, humanity, and the peace like this. So, so now we are both are the part of this. So
Yay, good.
exactly. So what you give in the last is the message कि how we will be behave like a good human and how we will be transfer our energy, positive energy to others like this.
I think the most important thing is intention, right? I mean, it's really important. It's really important for us to take a moment, even every day, to set our intention. Imagine you wake
Mhm.
up in the morning. I wake up in the morning. I'll tell you what I do. Um, I personally wake up in the morning and I imagine that the entire world is
Mm,
hanging between good and bad. Imagine there's like a
exactly.
scale, and it's like good on this side, bad on this side. Okay, and I know that the next thing that I do, right? I remind myself the next thing I do could tip the scales one way or the other, right?
Okay.
Right. So just to know that what you do matters, what you say matters, and what you do matters. And if you set yourself with that intention, you say, you know what, my job today is just to try to bring that little bit of good into the world that's going to tip the balance, and
Mhm.
through any something that I say or something that I do. And if you have that in mind, then you can really change the world. Without You don't have to have a big project. It could be a tiny little project.
Mm,
Just be, with your family or with your family or with your friends or with your students. Um, but every minute of every day really have this opportunity to kind of bring the world to the good. And so, so that's my suggestion. My suggestion is make sure to every morning to make sure you know why you're here, and to make sure that you're here.
exactly. And
So
try to make the difference that you are exist in this world. So
yeah,
people must be uh, feel that कि you are here, you are the part of this entire universe. So
it, if you woke up this morning, it means that God decided that the world can't do without you. Right? He
exactly.
decided that this world, this world, Fatima has to be here this morning. That's it. So if he decided that, then we have to honor that, and we have to say, okay, now that he's decided that I have to be here, what do I have to be here for? And we're all here for something, and finding out our talents and finding out what we can contribute. That's our business, and
Exactly.
hopefully we will do that.
And this is a time for take the action.
Yeah, this is if ever there were a time when the world needed people to like do something, this is it. So
So that's great, and thank you so much,
my
Levi.
pleasure, my pleasure.
It's really a very great pleasure to talk to you and really enjoy and learn a lots of things. And no doubt, you are a very good teacher. So, वैसे, I have one more question. That's you are teaching and you are interacting the student. The age group is a very much important. The teenagers, na, you are interacting. So in this situation, my question is what they are thinking, what they matlab, they are losing their hope or they are having the hope that inshallah we will be and what will be like this, they are making the future plans like
I
what they
think
are sharing with you.
I think my students are, as we say, a little bit in denial. I think that um, they spend, especially I teach seniors, so I teach kids who are heading to college, and here in America, college is a very big thing, and it's and a whole experience. And I think that my kids, many of them, are thinking, okay, I was planning on this, and my whole life I've been pointing to this. I've worked so hard to get into a good college, and I'm going to. and they got into college, and their mind is kind of like, it's going to be just like I imagined. I don't think they've dealt with the reality yet that it's going to be different than they imagined. Um, yeah, I think nobody has really dealt with the reality that things are really going to be very different than they were before. That's going to be a very big challenge, I think. Um, yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work. I think everybody is still trying to grapple with that. It's confusing.
Actually, in US जो है जो school college going student is they are independent. In my country, the Pakistan, and the school, even the university going student is also not the independent, and they are depending on their parents, they are living their parents, because of the different culture we are having, the different values. And after, even though, okay, we get married, we are living with our parents, and we are respecting the decision of their and what they are thinking, and we always take the advice what we should do if we are going to start our new job, and whatever we are doing, going to take any decision, so we always be discussed with our parents and with our elders. We are alone, we are nothing. So but I think which whatever about the US and US people, uh, they are very independent in the early age, the teenagers after 15 or 12, they are taking their decision their own, isn't it?
It's true, although it may be less true now, because it doesn't look like you're going to be able to do that. I mean, it looks like we're going to be more dependent on each other. That's kind of the new normal, is more dependent on each other. It's not going to necessarily be so easy to live on your own and to make your own decisions. And so I think that's also, and you see now also, right? Kids who were normally out of the house and doing their own thing are now in the house with their parents for months, and having to have that experience, right? I imagine that for many, that for many people, this is the first time they've been, at this close to their teenage children for years. So I think we're not sure what things are going to look like. Relationships are also changing. As people's needs change, relationships also change. But yeah, you're right. I mean, definitely there's a lot more independence here. And the teenagers, they're expecting, to go off, into the world.
Yeah.
That may not be, that the launch may not be so smooth. It may not be that smooth.
So what do you think, if, in which age group we are give the freedom to um, our kids or uh, our people? In which age group we are give the?
I think it depends. I think it depends on the kids. Different kids are able to do different things at different ages.
Age.
It really depends on the kid. And I would also say, just speaking personally, there's a each system has its gains and losses. So the gain of our system is you end up with people who are very kind of independent, sometimes able to think out of the box, kind of, that you have that advantage. The advantage of say a Pakistani system is you have people who are more connected to each other. You have people who have maybe more solid relationships and all the things that come with that. There's a lot of comfort in that, a lot of strength in that. I would like us to have more of that, actually. I think that I feel like our communal life definitely needs some work. We need to have better connections with each other. People need to feel like they're part of something, not just an individual going out into the world. So maybe this is an opportunity also, like, for us to kind of like reevaluate our systems, and kind of look and think to ourselves, okay, so what works, what doesn't work. Um, it is. I mean, it is interesting that our normal way of doing things is derailed. No, our normal,
Mm.
and when that happens, maybe that's an opportunity to think about, how we proceed and what we do. Um, but I feel like I have this feeling like people are going to be more dependent on their families a little bit. I don't think that they're going to be able to just kind of go off into the world in the same way that they did before. But we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much for being the part of Eco Inspire Living Show. I'm again very, I want to say thank you, Jazakallah.
My
So,
pleasure.
inshallah, yes, inshallah, and in the future we will do again because you are a very nice person and the people will learn a lots of things
It's my
by
pleasure.
your speaking and by
I'm
your
very happy
discussion.
to do it.
Okay, Allah
Okay.
Hafiz.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Allah Hafiz.
Bye-bye.
So and this is Lee Weisman from US, and he is a educator and a social interfaith, the social activist, and he is a very nice person. And he shared his experience regarding to the COVID-19 challenges and how do do the work from the house. And definitely it is the great challenge nowadays everybody is facing, and they are struggling and they are trying to skill themselves to maintain. There are problems for themselves. So as I said in the and that the human is a very superior, we are very superior as a human, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a lots of the powers, intelligence. So we need to be used these all things, and these are tools to make our life is better, and also contribute the life of other people. And we all connect to each other, and we are trying to uplift to each other, and we should be contribute even the little drops. I believe that okay, little drops if continuously uh, uh, putting on the hard stone, so they make the hole. So if we cannot do anything, so we can be like the little drop of water, so we will be create the difference. So this is the message of Eco Inspire Loving Show, and I'm your host from Pakistan, Fatima Aziz. So let me go, and inshallah, again we will be with you and with another guest and with another topics. So take care and love you. Jazakallah.